What's happening, folks? What's going on with you? How we doing? I am running a little bit behind. I was because I wanted to catch what Roland Martin had to say about what Marvin Sapp did at a church. So I was listening. That's what I was doing. I was listening. Well, other than having to move some furniture because the wife decided to go and buy a new couch. Anyway, but my main thing, because I wanted to see what Roland Martin had to say about what Warren Sapp did when he was like, close the doors. And I get what Roland is saying. I understand where he's coming from. But how we doing, people? What's up with you today? I hope everybody had an awesome day. And God got you up. He protected you all through the day, which is an awesome, awesome thing. But as I was saying, I understand what Roland Martin was saying when it comes to raising money for a church. I get it. I mean, a church needs to have money to stay working, a working church. He's 110% right on that. I mean, my church could not operate if the people didn't give us the money to keep the lights on, to keep the heat and things of that sort. It just would not be able to work. We get that, Roland. We understand that. See, but what Roland didn't tell you is why do people feel the way they do about the black church and about these black preachers asking for money? That's why I was listening to Roland Martin, because I was hoping that Roland Martin dove into, instead of kissing ass, it's what he did. Roland took the cream off the top and told the truth of why do people feel the way that they do when some of these preachers are asking for money, when some of these black churches are asking for money. Why is that? That's the part I was waiting for. And seeing that it wasn't going to happen, seeing that he was not going to say anything about the pulpit preachers. Y'all, you know what I'm talking about. When I say pulpit preacher, I ain't talking about a preacher that gets in there and say the word. What I'm talking about is them preachers that don't come out of the pulpit unless they get certain amount of money on a Sunday. So they can drive around in their Mercedes. So they can get on their luxury jet. The so-called mega church preachers and some of these smaller preachers that's running around here also. Those people. That's why Warren Sapp is catching the hell that he's catching. It's not really because he said close the doors. Now, like I said, I've never in all my life, in the 17 years of preaching, actually being in a pulpit preaching, I have never said at any church that I've preached at any church that I've been to, I've never heard them say when they're taking up money, close the doors. Nobody, no, when he said close the doors, I knew what he meant. He want the ushers to stand in front of the doors and nobody was leaving, because he said it himself. He said, we're all leaving at the same time. So if you want to leave now, you cannot until I get this money. That's what he said. And for people to run around and act like he did not mean what he said, it's pathetic. So Roland got to go on his little radio show. Well, it's bigger than my little thing I got here, so I can't say. And I listen to Roland. I listen to Roland all the time. But sometimes Roland don't tell both sides of the story. No, he don't. I love it when he deconstructs stuff because he's breaking it down, and even then he kind of don't tell both sides of the story. But in this case, Roland's not telling both sides of the story. He's just not. People are upset at black churches, especially right now, is because you got these pulpit preachers who's got the chain. You had one preacher, well, I think it was New Jersey, that got robbed. Had so much jewelry on, they robbed this dude. Being flashy. That's what people are upset about. That's what I'm just going off of what for me talking to people about the situation. When they ask me and I ask them, well, what are you upset about? They're upset because of the way that the black preacher in the church today's are moving. So when you say lock the doors, or I'm sorry, close the doors, and we're all going to be leaving at the same time, especially if we've already given. And I got a feeling that the basket that went around already, I could already tell. The basket that went around already. So now they're telling you, well, we didn't meet our budget, so y'all got to come off some more. And we're gonna lock you in here until you come off some more. That's what happened, man. I don't care how Roland Martin and the rest of these, so-called people, I don't care how they spin it. This is what happened. It played live. We watched it. Everybody watched it together. Roland and them want to give us alternative facts. Now, was it wrong for him to do that? A lot of churches. I know at church anniversary, they sit there and go, hey, you know what? If you got a little bit more to give, we're gonna have a plate out here. Come on up and whatever you got to give, please, give it. I've been in many churches where they've done that. Many small churches. A lot of churches I go to are small churches. A lot of churches I preach at are small churches. And that's how they do things. They don't tell you ain't leaving until you give up $20. They ask, if you got any more to give, please do. The church lights has to stay on. The church have to feed this person or feed that person. When we have a need in the community, this is where that money is coming from. I get that. But people are upset because the black church is not doing what it's supposed to do, what it was intended to do. When I was young, Shelby County, Tennessee, St. John's, when my grandparents went to St. John's, and in St. John's, everything was there for us. I got shoes from my church. I got pants from a church. I got underwear. We got corn. We got tomatoes. We got potatoes. We got greens. We had onions from the church. Because people would bring their tithes to the church. Black church and got away from that. Got away from that. We got the biggest black church here in Minneapolis. The dude got $2 million. Look it up. $2 million. The Democrats bought that church. That church belongs to the Democrats. Bought it. He's driving around in a nice automobile. That's what we're talking about, Roland Martin. We're talking about people like that can be bought and is bought and driving around and don't do nothing for the community. So when you have a Warren Sapp stand up there, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. When you have Sapp stand up there telling people they got to give more money, yeah, people are upset. People are upset because you, Sapp, and all these other well-known preachers, y'all not calling out a Creflo Dollars. And all them other prosperity preachers that are out there. That's who we see. That's who we're on. Look at what's her name? Paula, what's her name? Up there at the White House right now. That's how I know Trump's a phony. If you cannot tell a fake preacher, and she right up there at the White House saying you'll get a blessing if you give so much. Really? I got to buy a blessing. And y'all put up with it. That's the thing that gets me about it. Y'all put up with this type of stuff. It's folks like her that gives a preacher like myself bad names. That people can get on here and call us all types of names, not because they know what we do, not because they know what I do or how I do it. It's because of all these other preachers out here making other preachers look bad. Especially the black church, when the Democrats can walk in and hand that pastor a check and say, I need you to be the gatekeeper of the black community. If any of these Negroes get out of line, you let them know. This way we can get that. Minneapolis. That is Minneapolis. I talked about it the other night. The blue wall. The blue wall starts with the black church. Because the Democrats have walked in and says, we need you to make sure that you keep them in their place. And if you do that, I'm going to hand you a check. This way, you can keep living that lifestyle that you live in. Those are the people that we're talking about, Roland. That's why everybody's upset. Because you got preachers like that. You got bishops like that. You got preachers that ain't preaching the word. They're preaching to make sure that next week the same people come back. They're afraid to tell the truth. They are afraid to get down and dirty and say, use a sinner. Tell the truth. Only thing you have to say is he died on the cross. And just by me saying that, people should sit there and say to themselves in their mind, because I'm a sinner, he gave up the ghost. He shedded the blood right then and there for me. And there should never be a problem when you speaking on sin, speaking on the worldly view of people. There should never be a problem, but they don't do that no more. They tell you that if you look, I ain't telling nobody that again. Your blessing every single day is when God gives you the opportunity. That's a blessing. He ain't never said that he was going to bless anybody to be rich. Never said that. Never. Show me in the Bible where he said, I'm going to bless you to be filthy rich. Ain't never said that. But Paula tells y'all, if y'all send her money, you get a blessing from God. That's not how, listen, people, show me, please, somebody right here, please tag me go to the Bible right now. I'm going to be going there somewhere tonight because I got to show you something. But go to the Bible right now and show me where it's in the Bible. Show me somewhere where it even alludes to that God is saying that he's going to bless you so much that you're going to be filthy rich that you don't have to worry about. There will be no trials, no tribulations, no nothing in your life because you send money to Paula and Trump. Show me where that says that. It don't. Not the Bible I read. Maybe I got the wrong Bible. Maybe I got to go to the store and buy that so I can start reading it. Cause Lord knows I need some. When it cost me, true story, like I said, it cost me $133,000. And this is what it cost me: $133,000. That my insurance only picks up so much of that to be on dialysis a month. Times that by 12. Times that by 12. Now, if there's somewhere in that Bible that says that I can say something to God and God's going to bless me enough that at the end of the month when that bill comes in, that he's going to bless me enough to, please show me. Because Lord knows I need the money. Lord knows I need the money. And I can tell you this, I can send money up there to Trump and Paula, and she said that I'm going to get a blessing. I can guarantee you that's not going to happen. I can guarantee you that's not going to happen. So when people are getting mad at these preachers out here and the way they rolling and moving today, everybody got every right to. So it's not what Sapp said, really. It's how he moved. And he apologized for that. It's how he moved, and he apologized for that. So if we're going to tell half the story, okay, because that's usually what y'all do when y'all get out here and try to take up for some of these preachers and the things that they do. But y'all know exactly why people are upset. You know exactly why the black community is not moving the way they usually move with, hold on one second. They usually move with the black church because the black church is being foul. There's a lot of black churches that are being foul. There's a lot of ministers who sit in prison. Y'all know as well as I do. People who sit in prison and say, how can I get a come up? They go to prison, they read their Bible because that's all they got to do all day. They come out, they realize the only thing they have to do is tell people they're going to give them the word. And most of the time, the word that they're given is how to get rich. And all of a sudden, he's a preacher now. And he's preaching out here. Those are facts, people. And the problem is a lot of people don't like when people like myself tell the truth. There's a preacher that I like listening to named Jenkins, Dino Jenkins. He tells the truth, period, point blank. Preaches straight from the Bible, gives you the word like you wouldn't believe. But the black church ain't done his job in a long time. And now that people are upset and mad and they calling them out, good. I hope to pray that everybody, and you know what? Here's the thing about that whole thing too. If you ever seen that, you ever see the video when Marvin Sapp tell him to close the doors? The preacher that I just told y'all about in Minneapolis, the biggest, he was at that convention. He was at that convention. Money preachers is what I call them. They don't preach for God, they preach for money. And that's what the problem is. Again, it's not really what he said. It's just how the black church has been moving here lately. You can't get people in the church anymore because of what they're doing. And Lord knows you go in and you start preaching a word, and then people come up to you and go, well, that was hey Rev, that was a pretty harsh word. No, I gave it to you exactly how Jesus would. I gave it to you exactly what was in the Bible. I did not mince my words. I did not mince the words of the Bible. Straight Bible. People don't like that no more. They don't like to be called sinners, even though they're out there doing sinful things. They're lusting, eating more than what they should eat, chasing that dollar, drinking, fornicating, some of everything else. But, you're not allowed to tell the truth about that in the church anymore. Well, I'm not coming back to your church. You're talking about me. Well, did you do it? Well, yeah, but don't get mad at me if you walk into the church and I'm asking you a simple question. You have to choose. No, don't get mad at me. This is a word of the day, and this is how it's coming down. But anyway, hey, so I was pretty light on Twitter today. I just wasn't in the Twitter mood. I wasn't in the online mood, Facebook. Just wasn't in the mood today. So I didn't say too much to too many people at all on today. But I thought it was pretty funny that J.D. Vance goes over to Greenland to tell those people how to run their country. And I'm sitting here going, let's count the vets. Let's count the veterans that are on the streets in Greenland. Let's see how many veterans are on the streets in Greenland. Let's see how many drug addicts are on the streets in Greenland. Let's see how many people are shooting each other on the streets in Greenland. Until you can clean your house up, ain't no reason for you to go back over and tell somebody else how to do something. Because your house is just as dirty. Just as dirty. How many kids in Greenland can read at a grade level? Your house is just as dirty. But we're going to go off and fly all the way to Greenland to tell them what they should and should not be doing. But I got farmers here selling off their land because they're going bankrupt. You got people who can't pay their bills. You got senior citizens who lived in their house for 20, 30 years, have to sell it now because of the taxes that are going up. Until we can clean our house up, keep your ass away from other places, telling them what they can and cannot do. Clean up America. Let's do that first. And then we can go tell other people what to do. In your home state of Iowa, not Iowa. I'm trying to think of the name. Why I just was thinking about it. Ohio. One of the biggest drug places of the capital of the United States. Let's clean that up first before we go over there messing with them. The healthcare system is completely out of whack to no end. Let's help some of the people here in the United States. So insulin They're not paying $100 for an insulin pen. There's so much that we need to be done. But we find ways to get our noses in everybody else's business. But our house is just as dirty. And we don't even know how to fix that. But I just thought it was funny that he over there telling them what they need to do. But here we are in the situation. That's Gary. I'll get back with him. Here we are in the situation that we are in. Nah, bro, trust me. They don't trust me. The way we are here today, they don't need our help. We need our if any help, we need our help. Maybe they can teach us something. I don't know. But I'm looking at the situation going, let's take care of home first. Let's take care of the people who are here first. Before we go off and tell somebody else what to do. Because we ain't got it right here. We don't. America run off and try to act like they got it right. We don't have it right. We're still fighting each other because one group of people think that everybody wants what they got. And they want to make sure that nobody gets anywhere near. Yeah. Let's be real about it. But yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. That they decided to go over there and mess with Greenland of all places. Greenland of all places. You want to do something? Go. My wife's from people are from Puerto Rico, and they were saying how bad things are over there in Puerto Rico. Want to do something? Go fix Puerto Rico. Go on over there. Fix Puerto Rico up. Because her people are saying that they need all types of stuff over there. Hang out over there for a little bit and fix that up. See what happens. See how that turns out. I think until we get to the point to where we're going to finally start saying that we're going to help our people, then we shouldn't be helping. No, seriously, we shouldn't be helping nobody. Until we get to the point where we're gonna clean this place up. We're gonna make things right. We're gonna fight. We're gonna put every effort into fighting. Oh, I'm not gonna say fight because we've done that. We've called it war on drugs and everything else, and we still haven't come to the realization that until we get serious about this, until one side stopped using it as a political point so they can score points, and the other side stopped using it as a way that they can come up with all types of organizations to make money off of it, then this drug thing is never going to go away. It's never going to go away. So we sit there and go, well, what do we do? Well, the people who want help, we get them help. People who want help, we get them help. Now, one of the things that I have said, and I know people are going to get mad at me for me saying what I'm about to say, but we're at a point now where it's the same people. It's the same. There's a guy who has been brought back to life 6 times, and he still don't want to get help. At some point in time, we've got to look at it as they just don't want help. We are doing things to people that maybe is at a point to where they're saying, I don't want to be here anymore, and you guys keep bringing me back. Leave me alone. We're at a point now where we've just got to leave certain people alone. Because if you don't want to get help and you you keep doing the same thing to get yourself into trouble like that, there's not too much more that we're going to be able to do for you. Sorry, but it's just the realness. At some point in time, we've got to start being real with each other. I know it's harsh, and I know people go, but they are people. We got to. I know that. I get all of that. But then you also got to look at it in a way of, just like I said, maybe those people just don't want your help. Because if you tell me that you have brought me back to life 6 times, that should tell you that, you know what? I don't really care if I'm here or not. So sometimes we got to get to the point where we start saying, we have done everything for you that we could do. We have. And we're offering you a way out of this. If you don't take that way out, we can't open this door again. We just can't keep doing this. Seriously. I'm all for helping people. I'm all for getting people in rehab. I'm all for whatever we got to do to get you help, but we just can't keep going down. This isn't the road we got to keep going down, because you got people who are making money off of you. And then we've got to go forward with those who want help. I was watching the show. I don't know if y'all guys seen that show on CNN. Was watching some of it last night, where the babies, these fentanyl babies now, where they were saying that you can't stop using while you're on fentanyl and you have a baby. This is on the show I watched last night, because the baby would die from withdrawals. Wow, that blew me away. I looked at my wife and went, "Wow, that is crazy. That is crazy." Sad, but it's crazy. But we got to clean up our own house here, people. We have to. It's time. It's time. And I believe that the only way we were going to do this is for us, again, like I said, we have to come. Hold on, let me show you something. Yeah, if y'all don't mind, I didn't bring my book down, so I've got to use this here. And I'm gonna tell you where I'm gonna come from on this here tonight. I know you're sitting there going, "Well, I was at church on Sunday, Rev. Here you are bringing me back to church." I just want to show you something. Every now and then, right? I don't do this all the time, but every now and then, I'd like to show you something.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Oh, sorry. I don't. Sorry, Alexa. I don't need your help.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
So if you were to take yourself to Joshua 24, and in Joshua 24, and you look at 15, and in Joshua 24 and 15, it's asking you a question. The Bible basically in Joshua 24 is asking you to choose. That's what it's saying in Joshua 24 and 15. But if you read Joshua 24 from the beginning all the way down to 15, what it's going to show you is God is talking to the people. God is saying, but I look at all that I've done for you. He said, I brought you out when you was being held captive. He said, I took you to the sea, and when you cried out to me, I made sure you was able to walk on dry land. And when I got you over to the other side safely, I made sure that your enemy could not touch you. If I was to break this down today, God is saying, look at all that I've done for you. When your inner sinner, gets you in trouble, I'm able to get you out of that trouble. I bless you every day that you come up. I've done more for you than anybody else would do. He said, I've given you promises that I would never leave you and I would never forsake you. He said, I've protected you through the good and the bad. And when you have sinned on yourself, what did I do for you? I sent my one and only to make sure that he, not you, nobody else, not your friends, not your mama, but he died on the cross for your sins. That's what he said. He said, and I've done all of that for you. Read Joshua 24. He said, I've done all of this for you. But yet and still, he said, but if you serve the Lord seems if serving the Lord, if you're going to serve me, seems undesirable to you. That's what it says. Then choose for yourself this day whom you will serve. Choose today whom you will serve. Are you going to serve me or are you going to serve a party? Because this is what I told you. And this is what the Republicans told you. This is what I told you. And this is what the Democrats told you. Democrats are running around here right now. I'm going to clean this up. Just walk with me. Swearing up and down that the trans community is having problems. I spoke to a few trans people. And they're like, we're not having problems. So I can't get with your lieutenant governor. I think, was it today or yesterday, made it Trans Day in the state of Minnesota. I think that's what she did. So I've got to choose. I'm either going to choose God or I'm going to go along with the Democrats. Correct? You got the Republicans running around here thinking they know something about crime and how crime works, and they're going to do this and they're going to do that, and they're not want to listen to nobody. But then I know what God is telling us to do with these people who are getting themselves in trouble and doing this here type of things, right? So I either got to go with God or I got to go with the Republicans. Joshua 24, read it for yourself. Read it for yourself. You got to make a choice, people. That's why a lot of things isn't going well right now. Because the choices we are making isn't the choices that God wants us to make. That's why we're crashing out. Because the choices we're making isn't the choices that God wants us to make. Read it for yourself. I'm just giving you a little synopsis on Joshua 24. But read it for yourself. And if I'm wrong, you can always hit me up and say, Rev, I read 24 and where's the choice? It says it right here. And if you go down to the end of it, he's telling you, he said, whether the gods of your, do you want to go with the gods of your ancestors? Because you remember, when God brought them out of their captivity, they decided to start loving gold and money and lust, like we do. You had those that was running around selling blessings. Send me some money and I'll send you a blessing. Those are not the type of people that God wanted you to be a part of. But if you go all the way to the end, the part that I like, it says, but as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. That's what he's hoping we would choose. And he's waiting on everybody to make that choice and choose that. But see, we choose to make statues of our idols and then bow down before them. And God is sitting there going, I didn't bring these people up to be like that. It's a blessing to sit down at a table to have breakfast. It's a blessing to be able to turn on water, get in the shower. It's a blessing to have lunch and dinner. It's a blessing to have a wife and kids and a dog and a cat and be able to drive yourself to work and that's a blessing. So, no, Paula, I'm not sending no money to the White House for that type of blessing. Because that's the type of blessing that will never come true. Y'all may believe it if you want. But then again, in Joshua 24, that question is plain and simple. What do you choose? Do we stick with our ancestors' gods? Or do we go and bow down to the true and one living God? Do we hate somebody because they're a Republican? Or do we hate somebody because they're a Democrat? Or do we find what we both have in common? If both of us like Fruit Loops, let's talk about that. Do we find what we all have in common to turn this thing around? Because it's not going to get any better. I don't, it's in let's turn Minnesota red. For what? No, seriously, for what? Let's keep Minnesota blue. For what? These people, y'all put so much power into these people. Y'all give these people so much power, and look at what they do to you. Democrats are making sure that men can go into women prisons. Dude told me today, he said I would crash out on that. Huh? I would crash out on that. No, I just want to keep women safe. I don't understand why that's such a hard thing to understand. That's what they want to crash out on. Republicans are paying other people to hate on their own people. Paid them. And those are the people that we will bow down to. Wow. Wait, what? Mike Lindell said he's gearing up to run against him. Oh my God. He didn't say that. Is that true? Mike, wait a minute. Is that that? No way. There's no way in the world that's true. No way. Let me hold on one second. I just want to see something here real quick. Anyway, so I still can't figure out what happened to, like, when you can't make comments on my get up here, because I still haven't figured out where that went or how to get it back. But yeah. Anyway, I don't until I see something different. Yeah, that is that's gonna be pretty good. Mike Lindell talking about running for governor. Nah, bro. Nope. Nope, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. I mean, only people that's gonna end, yeah. Anything outside of Hennepin County, he'll probably get, because that's Hennepin County don't care about policy. Only thing they care about are these theories that people like Mike Lindell will come up with. They don't care. They don't want to hear about policy. They don't want to hear about how we fix Minnesota. They don't want to hear about things that's supposed to be done here in Minnesota that can make everything. The only thing they care about is CRT, cat boxes, and rigged elections. That's the reason why Republicans don't win in Minnesota, because they can't go into Duluth, they can't go into Hennepin County, they can't go into Rochester and places like that and actually speak policy. They don't know how to do it. They don't know how to do it. That's why they never win. They don't have good candidates to it. Look, really? Really? Let's look at the candidates that they right now is talking about running. Mike Lindell? Really? And he'll get the ticket too. He'll get it. He'll get as wild as he could be. The wild with Republicans, the wilder you are, the better. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that I didn't like Scott Jensen, because I got on Scott Jensen's ticket. I was right behind him. That was after they decided that Michelle Benson wouldn't be that, because that's who I thought was going to run would win. I was on board with Michelle Benson the day that I was there. Matter of fact, I was there in Blaine when she announced. And like I told her, what do you want me to do? What do I have to do? And then when she dropped out, I got, was talking to I got a call from Scott Jensen, asking questions, and we met and got on board with Scott Jensen. And like I told Scott, when are you going to start talking policy? Because right now you really are not talking policy. You're just talking a bunch of, stuff that's blowing in the wind, and he lost. He lost because he couldn't get into Hennepin County. And the Republicans just they cannot win out. They can win out state all day. But where it matters, where the votes needs to come from, they just can't do it because they don't know how to put together a ticket that can come in and talk policy. That's what people, once you get inside 494, 394, 694, 94 loop, that's what people are looking for, somebody to come in and say, hey, here is what's going on in Minnesota. This is how we can fix it. Here is what's going on in Minnesota. Here is how we can make it better. Here is what's going on in Minnesota. We can take that and we can move it and make things a lot better, different schools and things like that. You don't get that. You don't hear Republicans talking like that. That's new to them. That's why they don't win. But anyway, fam, I am done. Just wanted to jump down here. Like I said, it's a Monday. Wanted to jump down here real quick. And I've been watching this show. I'll tell you about it later after I'm done watching. But it's on Netflix. And I think I did tweet it about it. It looks pretty good. But I'm going to check it out before I actually say anything. And then I'll discuss it with you. You may want to go watch it yourself. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. I've got a couple of other things that I've got to do here. Tomorrow, we'll be sitting down with Brad, and Brad and I are going to be talking about some things. And like I said, we're talking policy. There's going to be some policy that we're going to be putting out for people to read and for people to criticize us on it. And if you got ideas, that's why I always tell people, hey, if there's something that's going on in Minnesota other than, the stupid things that y'all talk about, rigged elections, I'm not even touching that. So don't bring me that. CRT and all this here other type of DEI, all that crap. Don't bring me that. But I need to know what can we do to make Minnesota better. Like I said, we got senior citizens that are being taxed out of their house. We got to figure that out. We got to figure out how do we keep these senior citizens in their homes. We got to figure out how do we get these vets who need it and want it, how do we get them some help and things that they need? And even with people, druggies out on the streets, right? We got to figure that out. Those are things right now that will take care of all of Minnesota. We also, they sit here and say, well, we gotta do something about the fraud. Yeah, we do. We need people in places to make sure that if someone gets money, they're doing exactly what they're saying they're doing with this money. This money isn't sitting in somebody's brand new home that they build over in Somaliland. I'm just saying. Get mad at me if you want, but truth's the truth. Like I said, you come over here, you may get cut. You may get an owie, but I'm going to tell you the truth. But we got to figure that out. I mean, $600 million could have done a lot. That could have been that $600 million for all these kids that's running around here causing these troubles, shooting each other, robbing, stealing, going out and stealing and breaking in cars and looking for guns, breaking in cars and things of that sort. $600 million could have built a facility. $600 million could have built a facility for these kids. We could have got these kids in a situation to where we could have started them on being good citizens. But that's not where that money is. That money is overseas somewhere in somebody's pocket. And we will never see that money ever again. That's what we do here in Minnesota for votes. That was money for votes. We all know that. That has to stop. Period, point blank. See, I'm looking at saying no until we get things tightened up here. Housing for people. We're not bringing anybody else in this state. No, because the taxpayer, enough's enough. Our pockets are being stretched because they want to keep bringing people into this state. Until we can get things settled down, nobody else comes here. We ain't bringing nobody. We're bringing nobody in from a plane from no war-torn country or anything of that sort. No, they can go somewhere. There's 49 other states they can go to. But right now, Minnesota is closed until we can get back to where we're supposed to be, and we can get our kids to where they should be. Period, point blank. So that's one of my policies. That's one of the things that I'm looking at and promising and saying. Until we can get things ways, nobody else is coming here. Enough. We've done enough of that. And the people who are here are well taken care of, and they are happy. Except if you go to Mall of America, somebody's got to do. Look, one other thing I gotta say too, because these kids are getting to the point to where they are literally making places where families like to go and enjoy themselves and have a good time. They are making it dangerous to go there. What happened at the Mall of America a couple of nights ago should never happen. Should never happen. Ever. And here's what I can promise you. It will not happen on my watch. It will not. I told y'all. See, we just going to have a good old fight. Because wherever the National Guards can be used, trust me, I'll put them on the first floor, the second floor, the third floor, and the fourth floor of Mall of America. If that's what it's going to take for a mother to take her kids there to that little park or water park or whatever is over there, to go and want to go to the aquarium and things of that sort, but she's afraid to go there because of the thugs and the hoodlums that are running around that place and making that place dangerous. If that's what it's going to take for your everyday citizen who pays taxes, who pays for that place, if that's what it's going to, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not here for play, people. Y'all think I'm kidding. I am not kidding. Things have to change or they're going to get worse. And as long as we let people do what they're doing, especially in a public place, we've got to make a difference. Timmy don't want to do nothing. Peggy don't want to do nothing. The leadership don't want to do nothing. Put somebody in leadership that knows what's going on, that will make a difference, that will do what's supposed to be done. So if I have to use the military to make sure that the taxpaying citizens of this state of Minnesota feels safe, whether they're downtown, whether they're at the XL Center, whether they're over in St. Paul, whether they're over there at Mall of America. Kids running around. I don't know if there was kids or whoever it was breaking out all the windows. People go take their families to the water park, whatever adventure hotel there is. They come out the next day and all of the, but whatever it takes for us to enjoy the state of Minnesota, that's what I'll do. Nobody else will do that. You ain't hear nobody else saying that. You ain't hear nobody else saying that they were going to make sure that you're safe. That's a promise. That's a promise. And that means even if I have to, I got the Senate in the House. If I go in there and just smack somebody up on side the head, I'll go to jail. I already know that. That's when you guys come in and get me out. Then that's what we do. But we cannot keep letting, I'm gonna say it, these bonehead thugs run around here and scare people of Minnesota to the point to where you just won't go anywhere. I'm going to stand here and bounce up and down in this square because all of these fools are running around, got me hostage, that I'm afraid to go anywhere. I'm afraid to go to Mall America. Not on my watch, man. Not on my watch. Anyway, I'm out, people. I appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I will more than likely see you on Wednesday. If you just jumped on, again, I got my little YouTube channel. So go to my YouTube channel there and subscribe to that. And anytime, one of these here drop, boom, you'll be ready to hear that. That'll be awesome. I've got to send. I'm supposed to have a guest on Wednesday. We'll see if he shows up. But I've got a guy that's want to hang out with me on Wednesday. We'll see if he shows up. But anyway, fam, y'all have a good night. We'll talk to you guys soon. And like always, understand and realize that we serve an awesome, mighty God, the very God that I was talking to you about tonight. And I said you have to choose. That's what he said. You got to choose. Do we hang out in this worldly world of sinners and the way they do things? Or do we decide that because I am a sinner and he died on that cross for me, that I'm going to choose my Lord and my Savior over all of this here stuff? And I guarantee you will see a totally different in yourself, in your mind, your heart, your spirit, and your soul. And when that happens, that always will put a smile on your face. Y'all know what we do with those smiles. We take them and we smile at somebody, so somebody smile back at you. Peace, fam. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you on Wednesday. Y'all have a good night. I'm out. Bye now.